First step is we need to simplify, but there's nothing we can simplify. There's no like terms, and we don't have any distributive property on the same side. So we're going to skip step 1. Now, we can continue this problem by keeping the fractions in the problem, but in class we talked about clearing the denominator. So instead of doing it this way, where we would add the 5/3 to both sides, and then do -3/2 plus 5/3 and continue the problem that way, we can do what's called clearing the denominator because we want to get rid of the fractions right away. So this is optional. You can continue solving it the way I was doing it to begin with, or we can do it this way. So if we're going to clear the denominator, we need to think of a number that 9 can go into, 3 can go into, and 2 can go into. Now, it doesn't matter as long as they all go into it, but the least common multiple, the least number, would just make the numbers in the problem smaller. So I know that 18 would work. All of these numbers go into 18. So I'm going to use 18. So I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 18. Okay, so I need to distribute this 18 to the -5/9, to the -5/3, and I need to distribute this 18 to this -3/2. Now, as we showed in class, there's a trick. So what's happening when you're multiplying the first two here together is that when you multiply with fractions, you can cross-simplify, and 9 goes into both of these, so you can cross-simplify diagonally like this, and this is going to become a 2, and this will become a 1, and then you multiply straight across, and you get -5 times 2 is -10, over 1 times 1 is just 1, so you just get -10. So instead of doing all of this work here, instead what we could do is say to ourselves, 9 goes into 18 twice. So -5 times 2 is -10, and then bring down the W. And then we would do 3 goes into this 18 6 times. So then we would do -5 times 6 is -30. And then 2 goes into this 18 9 times. So -3 times 9 is -27. And now we don't have any fractions to worry about, so now we can continue and highlight the variable term. And then get rid of this -30 by adding 30. And then -27 plus 30 is 3. And now we're ready for the last step because this is all by itself. So the last step is to divide. So we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of the W. And now we get W equals, we have a positive divided by a negative. So we get negative. And 10 can't go into 3. 3 divided by 10. 10 cannot go into 3, so we would have to make it would end up being a decimal, 0.3. So instead of, we could write our answer as W equals 0.3, -0.3, or we could leave it an exact answer and leave it as